Hello everybody. This lesson we're going to look at integrating quotations into your paper. So when you have a direct quote that you're taking from a source and you're putting it into your paragraph, you want to make sure that you integrate it correctly. So we're going to look at how to do that. You never want to drop a quote into your paragraph. Dropping a quote is when you put a quote into your paragraph and you don't introduce it, you don't say anything about it. You don't want to make the quotation do the work of the argument. If you include a quote, don't think that it proves your point just because it's there. You need to explore and explain it. So when you have a quote, it needs to be introduced, given, and then analyzed. So this little picture here gives a visual of what we mean by integrating a quote. And this is just one approach. There are other ways that you can approach this topic. But the sandwich is one. The introduction, your top piece of bread is your introduction. So before adding in your quote, you introduce it. The quotation is the filling of the sandwich. After your introduction, you add your quote. And then your bottom piece of bread is your explanation. Explain why your quotation is important. So this means that your paragraph might look like this. You'll start with your topic sentence. You will give a lead-in for your evidence or your quote. You'll actually give the evidence or the quote, followed by a citation. Then you give some commentary, some analysis, some explanation, some connection of your evidence and quote. Then you might repeat that process one or two more times with more evidence, more quotes, more paraphrases, and then you finish up with your concluding sentence. So on this slide, we have an example of what a paragraph that integrates a quote might look like. Now this only uses one quote and is a very short paragraph, but it gives you an example, it gives you an idea. So let's go through it. And I do have it kind of color-coded to separate it out a little bit. The first sentence, Hannah is quite an independent young woman. That's our topic sentence. The next part that's underlined is our lead-in. It is her idea to leave for America. She is the one who initiated leaving her family and traveling across the world all by herself. So that lead-in is setting up the situation that the quote is then going to explain. So our quote is now in green. She knew she wanted more for herself than her sisters had in their prearranged and loveless marriages. She wanted to escape the smothering strictures of life in her village. Smith 193. Then I follow it up in blue with the commentary or the analysis. I explain the quote and explain how it's connected to my topic. The reason she wants to leave is that she wants more for herself than the traditional role of obedient wife stuck in her hometown. Then I want to go back and end my paragraph with a concluding sentence. Her independence calls her to want more for her life. So that's an example of how to integrate a quote. So make sure that you're keeping this in mind when you are putting quotes and paraphrases or statistic or facts into your paragraph. Make sure that you remember to lead in and to analyze them.